So we're live on Facebook and YouTube. This is meteorologist James Spann. It is 10:48, and I thought what we do here is just take a few minutes and kind of walk you through what we expect overnight tonight and tomorrow night. This is a high-end severe weather event, and we consider this to be a dangerous weather threat, especially the second round tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. So this is where we stand now. And again, we're live here. It is at 10:48. Alabama, quiet. We have severe storms lined up over Arkansas, and one severe storm now that is over western Mississippi, north of Rolling Fork and north of Yazoo City, Mississippi. That's a severe thunderstorm warning in effect there. And to the north, pretty vicious line coming through St. Louis, moving into Illinois, coming through parts of southeast Missouri, and you can see multiple tornado warning polygons and severe thunderstorm warning polygons in effect here. But again, down this way, this is that one severe storm that is in western Mississippi. That's Interstate 55 right here. That's the Alabama-Mississippi state line. Over here, that's Mississippi. And this is likely producing large hail as it moves northeast. That'll be coming up toward Interstate 55. The other storms in Mississippi at this point are currently below severe limits. However, having said that, there's a tornado watch in effect now for northern Mississippi until 3 a.m. And this is a PDS tornado watch. And whenever we say PDS, that means particularly dangerous situation. And there's a separate tornado watch for parts of southwest Mississippi as well. No part of Alabama in a tornado watch at this hour. We do have a flash flood watch in effect for the northern third of the state. This is where rain amounts could be in the 2 to 3 inch range between now and early Sunday morning. This is basically from Kennedy, Fayette, Jasper, Aniana, Fort Payne, and points north. So, 2 rounds of storms we're concerned about. The first round will be after midnight tonight, and it could be closer to daybreak when the storms really get in here toward 3, 4, 5 a.m., but we'll open up the window at 1 a.m. We'll say 1 a.m. until 8 a.m., and the greatest concern, West Alabama. If you're in Anniston, Gadsden, Ashland, Sylacauga, I just don't expect any problems with round 1 here. The main concern from I-65 west. There's a level 3 out of 5 enhanced risk of severe storms and a level 4 out of 5 risk for much of Mississippi with this first round. So understand if you're in West Alabama, places like Tuscaloosa, Hamilton, Ewan, Reform, Greensboro, Utah, you could see a few storms after midnight with large hail, strong straight line winds, and there could be a few isolated tornadoes in here. So just be aware of that. Round 1 after midnight, West Alabama, 1 until 8 a.m. There could be a little break in the action, but then round 2 begins around 11 a.m. And the main window for round 2, 11 o'clock tomorrow until midnight tomorrow night. And this is the one that's the big show, if you will. And of course, this got a lot of attention during the course of the day today. We have a level 5 out of 5 high risk for much of our part of Alabama. The areas in purple on this map. Everybody else in a level 4 out of 5 risk. The entire state has a very significant risk here. And understand, last time we had a high-risk day in Alabama was 4 years ago, March 25th of 2021. And just as an analog on that date, we had 10 tornadoes, and we had 3 long-track EF3s. We had 6 fatalities. The fatalities came near Ohatchee in Calhoun County, so that was a very active day. In fact, that's one I'll never forget because that was the day our home was hit by a tornado, and that was a high-risk day. So in terms of the time for West Alabama, 11 a.m. until 8 p.m. That's a big window, but it's going to be a very active day. We're going to have hours of thunderstorms to deal with. For the central counties, including Birmingham, the window between 1 and 10 p.m., East Alabama between 3 p.m. and 12 midnight. So during these windows, again, storms could produce large hail, damaging wind, and tornadoes. And based on the profiles we're seeing, we could see some long track tornadoes involved here. Violent, long track, upper end tornadoes, EF3 or higher. So it is critical that everybody will be able to hear these warnings. And one of the biggest problems we have here, it is siren dependency. That has killed more people than anything else on my watch in all these years. The notion that you're going to hear some magical World War I air raid siren that's 5 miles away when you're sleeping during a raging storm. That's not working. That is never, ever a primary way of getting warnings. They serve a purpose. They reach a limited number of people outdoors, not indoors. So the baseline, it's a weather radio. And if you don't have one, most of the stores have sold out this week, which is great. We're glad people are responding. But you need that weather radio. It does not rely on a cell network. Cell phones can stop working. They're old school and they're good school. They're loud and they will wake you up. But having said that, with the phones, be sure that emergency alerts are enabled on your phone. Turn off the sleep and do not disturb mode so you get overnight notifications. And that's the secondary method. So weather radio, and be sure that you've got the emergency alerts on your phone. And your house, safe place. You know the deal. Small room, hall, closet, bathroom, near the center, no windows, lowest floor. And in that safe place, we want helmets for everybody. Some of you know I volunteered in healthcare for a long time. I started doing that to learn more about trauma. I wanted to know how people lose their life in tornadoes. And most of the time, it's blunt force trauma above the shoulders. And by putting on a simple, inexpensive bicycle helmet, that enhances your chance of surviving in many, many different ways. If you have kids that play sports, a batting helmet, a motorcycle helmet, a football helmet, and this is for everybody, not just kids. Helmets for everybody. And the other concern, it's, of course, cars in mobile homes, and you can't be there. A car is a death trap in a tornado. You're in a tornado warning polygon. You cannot be in a car. You pull over the first chance, go into some fast food restaurant, gas station, some place that offers shelter. And if you live in a trailer, this is something that we have to be better at. We have to be better at helping people that live in manufactured housing. You can't stay there. Same thing. There's no way. You cannot do that. You have to know the location of the nearest shelter or business that's open 24/7 that can serve as a shelter, how to get there quickly, and have transportation arranged. And that's something that you need to plan on for an event like this. So let me show you the Updraft Helicity product here. And again, as you look at this, a lot of people don't quite understand the product. This is showing where the potential for rotating storm updrafts are maximized. And accordingly, it gives you an idea of where we might see some tornado activity. So with round one, the model, this is the HRR model, the HRRR, the high resolution rapid refresh. It is spitting out evidence of maybe some tornado activity in parts of West Alabama here. And again, the tornadoes will not be in exactly this location, but you can see there's a chance there could be an isolated tornado between now and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. But watch what happens for round two. It really starts to ramp up. You're going to see tracks popping up all over the place. We'll stop it at 3 o'clock. And at that point, the better chance of tornado activity over the western side of the state. But watch what happens. It spreads on to the east. And by tomorrow night, we've got tracks over pretty much the entire state. And again, I want to stress when you look at this doesn't mean that tornadoes are going to touch down right along these exact lines here, but it's where the updraft rotation potential is maximized, and it gives you a broad idea where we could see some tornado problems here. So just understand that this is a high-end threat, that is a dangerous threat, and the one thing, the one goal here, it's to mitigate loss of, that's it. If nobody dies tomorrow and tomorrow night, that's a win for us. We don't want a fatality, not one. We don't want anybody seriously injured. And we have events like this, we've had them in the past, and again, we had a high-risk day like this 4 years ago. But we all have to work together. We have to work together with you. And one more important point here. If you're a weather enthusiast, if you like weather, if you pay attention, if you're a weather geek, nerd, dork, or weenie, you can help us. You can be literally a hero by helping us spread the word. Once we get into this, if you know of somebody that is in a tornado warning polygon, you call them and you text them. And you tell them, hey, you do something right now. This is serious business. And they'll listen to you. And a lot of folks don't pay attention to weather, and I understand that. People are busy. We're all busy. But and they might not even know that there's a threat tomorrow. But if you can help us by calling or texting them when this goes on here, that will be absolutely huge. You can be a big part of the process. We've learned a lot from social scientists, behavioral scientists, since the 2011 day. And they've helped us. And a lot of what we communicate now is based on behavioral science in addition to physical science. So one more thing, and we'll end this. We're not going to be here for hours and hours. There's absolutely nothing going on here. But one more note. Once we get into these rounds and we go live, when we have tornado warnings in effect, understand that every little CPU cycle up here in my brain is going to be focused on telling a coherent story. When we're doing tornado coverage, I have a laptop computer here. I have a tablet here. I've got 6 National Weather Service chat sessions going on, a chat session with our sky watchers, our internal sky watchers. I have live views, live streams from the field, at least 5 or 6 of these. And then we have the social media images and videos coming in. And it is almost information overload. And again, everything I have has to be used to gather that in real time while telling a coherent story. And I cannot do individual briefings. In fact, I have over 8,000 messages today from people wanting individual briefings, and I just simply can't do that. We have to spend our time on reaching the masses, the large numbers of people like this. So the encouragement is just to watch. And I promise we'll do our best to answer all your questions. And the biggest question, quite frankly, we get, it's what about my hometown? What about? In that people are struggling these days with map skills. And this map, for example, is almost like Russian to some people because they can't their house on this map. And so one of the other suggestions we have is that you maybe take a map of the state of Alabama and learn how to spot your county, learn the counties around you, and learn the towns around you. And by having basic map skill, that would really help us. And again, I'd say half the questions are what about my town? And of course, if we list every municipality in Alabama, we'll be here for hours just listing towns, weather information. So that's impossible for us to do. So all of that will be of help. And we'll get through this together. And I know a lot of you have weather anxiety. And these are hard. And this is a clinical situation. It's not imaginary. It's very clinical. And it's a genuine phobia. And maybe people have experienced a horrible tornado in their past or something's happened. And I don't like to use strong language. In fact, if you know me pretty well, one of the main things I do, it's putting down hype for that are not that big of a deal. And we see that all the time. But every once in a while, an event comes along like this one where you need to use strong language. And it's a really fine line we walk here between warning people of what's to come and getting people in this fear mode. And I don't want anybody in a fear, anxious mode. I know there are. But we do this just to inform you. And I would recommend taking a storm spotter class. Information is powerful. Once you understand more about this, the fear begins to fade. And some of the best storm spotters we have used to have a phobia of this stuff. So that will wrap it up for now. And again, we are simulcasting on the ABC 3340 Facebook page and YouTube channel. And for those of you in the digital world, that's the best way to watch us. Just, for example, got a Roku, Apple TV, use the YouTube app and just watch us through YouTube, the ABC 3340 YouTube channel. Of course, you can watch us on Facebook Live as well, and we're still on old school television. We're not on TV now. We're just on digital because there's nothing happening, but that's free over-the-air television. And our plan is this. I don't sleep. I don't sleep anyway. The last time I slept much was in 1973. But I'll be with Riley Blackwell overnight tonight for round 1. And then Evan Vera is going to come in for round 2 with me here in the studio, and Riley's going to be out in the field. And one of the things we're going to try and do for the second round, the big round, is have as many cameras out there as we can. Because we know that you tend to take action quickly if you see it. Now understand, in Alabama, we have hills, we have trees, tornadoes are rain wrapped. We can't show every tornado. We just can't do that. But we'll have as many camera field as we can. So that's everything you need to know right now. It is, 11 o'clock Friday night. And I would suggest the first severe storms will probably begin in West Alabama closer to 2, 3 a.m., something like that. So when things begin to happen, we'll be back on these live streams. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be talking soon. Have a good night.